story. Don't start.
Hey y'all. Thank you for tuning in to the Three Spiritual Chicks episode, season 2, episode 3. This is Joy. Well, I am Joy, aka A Joyous Connection.
I'm T, aka Rose Red.
And I am Jazz, Jazz the medium. Hello, everybody.
Extra large. You forgot that part.
You said what?
XL.
Jazz the extra large, the XL, the X to the L. So, how's everybody doing? How's your
You- Go ahead.
Been kicking my ass. Um, yeah, it's if y'all recall in season 1, we talked about on the spiritual journey, we never achieved to get to like a level we're forever evolving. And right now I am in a shadow period. If you recall in season 1, we had I think it was Mo. Was it Mo that talked about the shadow work?
Yep.
Um
Hmm.
and it's not necessary, well, it is shadow work, but I feel like I am, well, one, my spirit team is sit me down. They put me in a spirit of season of isolation. And I'm learning why they're doing that. So but in the midst of that, like, it's almost like going through like the ego death, um realizing some things that I thought that I had dealt with. Things are showing back up, and yeah, I'm going through spiritual emotions right now. So it has been very uncomfortable. So yeah, just know, for my close and loved ones, don't
Mr.
take it personal. It ain't got nothing to do with nobody. How some people say God sat me down, my spirit team is sitting my ass down. They're getting me ready for my next level of the spiritual journey. And right now it's feeling very uncomfortable. I'm getting a lot of downloads, a lot of dreams, been a lot of realizations of people that I have been around. I'm being shown their true colors. Because I'm somebody, when you doing stuff, and as one of my girlfriends told me last week when I spoke with her, I love hard. So, I want the best for everybody, and I want everybody to come along. And my spirit seemed like, we're not doing that. So let's sit you down. You need to see some things. Let's open your eyes, to some things. And yeah, that's it for right now. And besides school kicking my ass, but I'm kicking back, still maintaining that A. So
Yeah.
that's what I got for right now.
Oh, okay. Yep. Sitting you down, preparing you for your next level. So you know what it is. Um oh, let's see. What could I go on with my week? My week has been good. Ain't nothing been new. I just been chilling, working. Y'all know I'm always talker. I'm always gonna do my little shameless plug for my son's music. So he dropped a song last week, Drunk Text. We've been getting a lot of good reviews off of that song. So excited about that. Um just considered submitted it for radio rotation. So hoping that goes well. Um so what else?
When
Other than
we gonna
that,
get to hear it?
you ain't heard it?
When we gonna get to hear it?
Oh, I'll send it right
No.
after this. I'm sorry, y'all.
That means Jazz's algorithm changed and she ain't seen it on
She
the page.
ain't
I done
seen
already
nothing.
shared it on my page too.
I will send it tonight. I will send the Apple Music link or whatever link you need, girl. I got you. Um, what else?
Thank
Nothing else really as far as dreams and things is concerned. I haven't really had any wild dreams or anything out the normal. I'm gonna give I always ask for y'all perspective though. I did have a dream about um I was in this I was in the house that I grew up in, and in the house that I grew up in, I was with my husband. So it was almost like we lived there. But his dad was at the house and his stepmom and a aunt. He has an aunt Pam as well. So his aunt Pam was there. And it was this other aunt that I didn't know that his dad had. So I asked my husband, I was after I woke up, I asked my husband, I was like, do you know if your dad got another aunt? Because it was an aunt that was sitting on the other side of the couch. I don't know who she is, but they was referencing. It's like they knew like this was an aunt. So I had that little dream, wrote it down in my journal. Don't know what it means, but we'll see. Um, and then
So you
let's
knew
see.
it was who?
Um,
You said they knew it was who?
in the dream, like my father-in-law and my mother-in-law, they knew the aunt, but we didn't know who the aunt. I was like, who is she? I was like, oh, that's aunt. I'm like, and I asked my husband, I was like, did your dad have another aunt other than Aunt Pam? And he was like, not that I know of. So that's gonna his birthday's tomorrow. My father-in-law's birthday's tomorrow. So I probably asked my mother-in-law about that. Because I've done a couple sessions with her, so I can talk to her freely about things. Let's see what else. Mm, Had some weird scenarios. So it's a reader that I follow here. She did a manifestation, 10-day like manifestation um meditation. And I did it. I was telling T, I said, on one of the manifestation joints, you post a picture of yourself, the place that you want to be at, or just like looking at your surroundings on where you're supposed to be at, walk over this bridge, so and so. I get in this manifestation. I see my husband. I see our nice, beautiful house, big house that I want, cars. I was slim, doing it. Saw my kids all happy. But I saw my son, my granddaughter was holding on to his leg, and my son was holding a baby boy. My granddaughter looked like she was about 3 or 4. Right now, she's 2. So I was like, what is that about? Fast forward, meditated again. I said, I ain't going to picture this because he better not bring no more kids. Let me tell you, we're not going, I don't know where this came from. Fast forward, I had a dream about my mom. And we were in the car, and I don't know where we were going at, but my mom was like, where's your grandson? You left your grandson with Alvin. That's my dad's name. I was like, grandson. I was like, yeah, he in good hands, but I woke up, I said, what does this mean? Mommy, what is she trying to tell me? Because we don't need none of this, okay? No more kids until we get to where we need none of it, okay? So just put that out there. Had to write in my journal too. And that's been my week. So I've been trying to figure those things out. For real, for real. So that's about it. And okay, last thing. Okay, taking too much time. Tell me if I'm taking too much time, y'all. But last thing is this is not in it's kind of in the celebrity field. So everyone knows, like, of course, King Von. If y'all don't know him, he was a rapper that got killed a while ago.
Yeah.
Um, I had a dream not too long after he passed, right? And in that dream, he was showing me it was like from his perspective. So Lil Durk Lil Durk was at this table and talking to all these people, all his little crews. Vaughn was in a hoodie. Nobody knew he was there because he was there. It was like he was looking at like what's going on. He was in a hoodie there. I was standing beside him, and I was like, what am I doing here? And he's like, yeah, I see what they did. I'm gonna get all of them. So fast forward, not too long after I had that, I had a couple of not a couple of dreams. I know that was some deaths within the OTF crew, but then recently it was another death. So I've been trying to put this together because I'm like, okay, I know Vaughn said he was coming to he was making sure that everything was handled. But yeah, I'm just talking about it because I've been trying to figure this out because I'm like, okay, is this it? Oh, we're gonna have some more killers to go. So that's the end. I'm done. Y'all know I just got a vent to y'all because y'all my sisters, you know, so that's what it is.
Right, I don't even think about that. On the comments, Bamboozled asked, "Are we gay?" Yeah, we're big gay. But go ahead.
Right.
Big gay. Big gay.
Right.
But anyhow.
Anyhow, be careful messing with people. That's how they protect it. Okay, go ahead, Jazz. I'm sorry.
But anyhow, that's interesting. The first dream, I had a similar dream. The first one, when you said it was the aunt that nobody knew, I had a similar dream, and I remember I had a dream, and I was describing the dream, and nobody tell me. But then I had an aunt send me a picture, and it was my grandmother and all her siblings, and that because we went to a party. And it was like a family, it was all my family there. And I could tell everybody there had passed away, but it was like one man, he was like in a corner away from everybody. And it was like, hey, don't go over there with him. You know, don't go around him. So he was kind of sitting in the corner to himself. And I remember I woke up and I was asking, like, does anybody know of a man that could nobody go around? And nobody was responding. So finally, my aunt sent me a picture of my grandmother and all her siblings. And in that picture was that man. Apparently, it was my mom's uncle. And he wasn't appropriate with children, so people kept him away. And I had no idea. My mom had never in her life mentioned this man before, and he was in my dream. And it's funny because the ancestors was like, "Yeah, don't go over there by him. Don't talk to him." And he was kind of sitting in the corner by himself.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was like an interesting thing. So me, on the other hand, I've been doing a lot of dreaming too. Nothing significant. I mean, last night I had a weird dream that I found a cat and it was infested with fleas, which is not always a good omen. And my mom was in the dream and she told me to put the damn cat outside. So I don't know what that meant. It means something, and I know that something is not really good, but you know, what can you do? I also I'm also prepping to do something with work. Like we got like an award ceremony that we got to go to on Wednesday. But besides that, nothing's been going on. I know Mercury is retrograding right now, so I always try to chill out when Mercury is, you know, in retrograde. I did postpone my surgery I was supposed to have to like the end of January because my doctor was like, you know, maybe you should have it now, and I was like, not during the retrograde. Can we do it later? So I'm gonna have my surgery later on. That's pretty much it for me.
Jazz, I went back in one of our
I wanted to share something.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I went back in one of our sessions.
One of our sessions.
Yeah, and it was one of our sessions. I don't know if you recall, but I was going back in my book and I was like, in the session, I saw you sitting in a chair and you were smiling. You was in this little operating room, but I remember I was like, you was like, do that mean I'm gonna die, Joy? It's like, I don't know. I don't think you're gonna die or nothing. But I remember that. I don't think that, but you were sitting in the opera, you were sitting in here with these bright lights in this room. I don't know what you was in there for, but it made me think about I had to go back in my journal and look and when I wrote about it, because I was like, hold up, I think I wrote about of this. So when you said you had to have surgery, I was like, oh, this might be what it was talking about, because we used to try to figure that out. I was like, I don't know what that means, Jazz, but you were sitting in chair smiling, so I thought you was having dental surgery
You know
and
why
stuff.
I'm smiling? I'm smiling because my uterus has been giving me the blues and they about to take that bitch out. That's why I'm smiling.
Oh,
My doctor
okay.
said, "You plan on having any more kids?" I said, "I can't have no more kids." She said, "Well, I'll just take it out." I said, "Please." A perimenopausal is getting on my nerve. Just take it. Take her. She keep fucking with me. She keep fucking with me. Take out. So that's why I'm happy. I'm going to be very happy during that surgery. Take her out. We done. Just leave those eggs so I can still make the hormone. That was the best news I heard. You know, I could just go ahead and give you a hysterectomy. I said, "You sure can. Sure can." I got fibroids, cramping and shit, bleeding all off. Yeah, it's time to go. Time to go.
So one thing I did forget to share with y'all, I have this week celebrates my 5th year anniversary at my job. So, you know, I'm excited because we all know what the number 5 means. Okay. So I'm looking forward to some changes. But yeah, so that was.
And also congratulations because you ain't killed nobody yet.
You said what? What'd you say?
Congratulations, you ain't killed nobody yet.
Right.
I don't have
I said
to.
congratulations, you ain't killed nobody on that job yet. 5
Girl,
years.
I ain't gonna do that. I don't have to. The way how my mama been all up and through there, I don't need to do nothing. I don't need to do nothing at all. I don't need to do nothing. I'll say that one piece offline. I don't need to do nothing. But sit my ass still and watch them work.
And sit down.
That part.
Sit my ass down. I ain't gotta do nothing. And they definitely not worth going to jail over. So no. I won't survive in jail.
That's good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm hoping my facility wins an award this week on Wednesday night. It's our award ceremony. I hope we win. I have a feeling we will, but I've worked our team, because it's a team effort. We worked very hard, so hopefully we'll get something. We get noticed somewhere.
Do y'all know like the categories? I mean, I'm sure y'all are, because of all the concerts.
Yeah, it's like we do surveys. Like there's like a great places to work. And then there's like a customer satisfaction survey you could be rated at. Then they'll rate you on all your metrics. With nursing homes, you deal with metrics. They'll rate you with your metrics. It's different stuff that they look at. It's a lot of different stuff it's a lot of factors. So it's kind of hard to get something, but we've made some major improvements. So that's my hope.
So, okay. Congratulations in advance, because y'all winning something.
So let me tell y'all. What'd you say?
I said, y'all know, y'all winning something. I said, you've been putting in that work.
I have. But let me tell y'all something. I was scrolling on TikTok earlier, right? And there was a video on TikTok, and she was like, and shout out to her name is Grace the Astrologer. Follow her. She's really good. But she was like, you have whole energy if you have these placements in your chart, right?
Let me go get my chart. Let me go get my chart. Okay.
She naming shit, and I'm like, hold on. So she said 5th house placements. I said check. She said Jupiter in the 5th house. I said check. She said a Sag moon. I said fuck. Check. She said Neptune in the 5th house. I said check. Oh my God. So that took me down a rabbit hole. I'm like, a whole hoe out here in these streets. Bad you, not no more. I've since matured. I've since matured.
Just for your boo. That's all. Just for your boo.
I've since matured. But my whole teens and 20s now made sense. It was right there in my chart the whole fucking time. So more of the story is learn your astrology. But also your 5th house is the house of creativity. So it makes perfect sense that I was able to take all that energy and put it into my writing and write those short stories that I write. Book coming soon. Write those short stories that I have that I'm getting ready to put out. But like when I got to looking, because Miss Grace sent me on this deep dive, I was like, well, let me really study the 5th house. I do have a 5th house stellium. Let me see what's in here. And girl, I'm like, because your 5th house is your house of creativity, kids, sex, stuff like that. So when I got there looking at my 5th house, I was just like, and it's in Jupiter. I mean, it's in Scorpio.
Okay, that says a lot. Especially with being a Scorpio.
Jupiter and Scorpio, right?
Yeah. You got the expansion and the sexual energy. So yeah.
And Neptune. Oh God. That's craziness.
Oh gosh, I would say well, my Jupiter is in Sagittarius in the 5th house and Neptune Sagittarius in the 5th house. Okay. Interesting.
Again for your boo.
Yes, Sagittarius.
Sorry, I'm boring. I don't have neither one of them in my 5th house, so that don't mean anything. But
so you want to Mister? You want to Mister? Y'all be having fun, Miss Joy. You can't have Sag in the 5th house and not be a good time.
We'll do something. I can't do that with my being hurted.
Why is it 2 of you?
But what I've been doing more often than late is becoming more comfortable with my own sensual energy. Because as females, we're taught not to be comfortable with our sexuality or our sexual energy. And I think what I'm learning is to become more comfortable with it. Hey, for anyone that just joined the chat, if you do have any questions that you would like to ask, we are doing free readings. But it forces you to be comfortable, with yourself. And I think because of that, I feel more liberated than anything. And the funny thing is, I feel like I became more liberated when I stopped. When I stopped. So when I really focused on getting to know myself and becoming more comfortable with myself, that's when I really found myself. And I know it's crazy. You would think that if you would be more sexually liberated when you're having sex, but I became more liberated when I stopped and started writing. So there's like a myriad of ways to channel that energy, especially Miss Sagittarius with Neptune in the 5th house. Joy, what's your 5th house, T?
So I'm up here looking at it now, and I was getting ready to say, y'all, I lied because I ain't gonna go too much in depth, but I do have, as far as the signs, I got 2 placements of Scorpio, 1 placement of Sagittarius, and then 1 placement with Libra in my 5th house. Why are you looking at me like that? And it's funny because my moon in Scorpio is in my 5th house. That's the interesting part with that. Let's see. Oh, is that?
You said your moon is in Scorpio in the 5th house?
Mm-hmm.
So you a Cancer rising.
Mm-hmm. You knew that already.
Girl, you don't remember nothing.
You don't remember? I was gonna say you don't remember, but I have one placement of Saturn in Scorpio in my 5th house, Moon in Scorpio in my 5th house, and I also have. Hold on, y'all, because I'm looking at it at the same time. I actually, oh, yeah, I'm just
It's
gonna
in the
have
refrigerator, but
because
you can
I
look
have
at it.
Uranus and Pluto as well in my 5th house. So I'm gonna have to do some research, but I will say that does make sense with my Capricorn sun because you know, y'all wouldn't.
So as
Go ahead.
what were you
Go ahead.
So here in the comments, at Shrop Lady says, I'm still learning my chart. I have Uranus and Saturn in the 5th house. Do you know what sign your 5th house is in?
Yeah, what sign?
And girl, I'm still learning my chart too. Because I've got Uranus in the 5th house too. I've got Jupiter, Neptune, and Uranus in the 5th house. Then the 4th house, I got Pluto, Libra, and I forgot the other one. Shit. And then all the other planets are in my 6th house. All my planets are spread between my 3rd, 4th, and 5th house. I mean, my 4th, 5th, and 6th house. Her 5th house is in Sag too, just like yours, Joy.
And it's funny because my 5th house is the one that has the most, like the
Saturn
heaviest.
in the 5th house of Sag. Wow, that's almost kind of like having Jupiter and Saturn in the same house because Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. Shrap Lady, does your creativity feel restricted sometimes? I was reading something on Uranus earlier. What did it say about Uranus? There goes Uranus right here. It was saying that Uranus represents how you break free from norms, where you're meant to be unique, experimental, and ahead of your time. It's about electricity, sudden change, genius level insight, and intuition that strikes like lightning.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Because based on what you just said, and for me, it's the Uranus and the Sagittarius at what is that? 2 degrees in my 5th house. This season that I'm in right now, that makes sense because it's with me sitting down and I'm like at the drawing board thinking of ways to get more creative with stuff. So yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense.
At Shrop Lady, you got to be creative. You got Uranus in your 5th house. You're creative. I think Saturn is probably what makes you feel like you aren't. But I remember forever, I would always tell my friends, like, I am not an artist. I can't draw. I can't this. I can't draw. And all my kids and everybody could draw. But then I realized that my artistry is through my writing. You know, you're creative. You gotta be. It's right there. What you just said just shows creativity. I think it's that Saturn that kind of makes you, feel like you're not. But you gotta be, especially with Saturn in the 5th house.
I'm also picking up
And
that
Uranus, definitely.
maybe she be second guessing herself. That's why she feels she's not creative.
Sharp Lady, do you second guess your lot? Do you second guess yourself a lot? Speaking of old Big Daddy Saturn, where's Saturn at in y'all houses?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Scorpio in the third.
Okay, the Trop lady. Yeah, you got it. You gotta trust your gut. What am I looking for?
Saturn.
Saturn.
I have Saturn.
You said
20
Saturn in
degrees.
your third house?
No.
Yep.
Oh.
Mine Scorpio in the third for Saturn.
So for me, my Saturn is 20 degrees in Libra in my 4th house.
So is mine. Get out of my chart. Get out of my chart. Mine is more like 24 degrees Libra, but
Yeah, we're in my 4th house. So, and isn't that isn't the 4th house like home, like your foundation?
Yep. And then the third house, like, Joy, how are you with communicating your emotions?
You know I'm a Pisces girl, so that don't be not good. My husband be all on me. Okay. Babe, I'm a communicator. I just need like you to reciprocate. And then you know what happens is when I try to communicate, it don't come out right. Like I just be all in my head. And it be sounding good in my head, but it just don't come out right. That's why I can write a play or book, whatever. Yeah, about it.
Yeah, I think I do better writing than talking to. Like, I could send you a mean text. I could tell you how I feel all up in that text, baby. But when it's time to talk, I'll be like, especially if you talk over me. Don't talk over me because I'm going to forget what the fuck I wanted to say. And then I'm going to be mad because I'm going to remember it when the argument over. And I'm like, damn, I should have said this.
Yeah.
Yeah, depending on who it is. If you talk over me, I'm walking away. We ain't having no conversation. Not gonna happen. Miss Trop lady, you got this. You working on it. But now that you're mindful, go with your first mind every time. But
You're a lot more creative than you think.
Yep. It all depends on where I'm at. You know, in work, it's a different situation because at work, I just look at them with the blank face because in my head, I'm singing the Chris Brown, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit, but I can't say that out loud. So that's what I say. It all depends on the setting.
She says she do have a question. I'm going on my first cruise in December. Will everything go good? Would anyone like to answer this question?
Well, as I read it, what came to me was yes. But I do have a question for you. Yes, everything's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine. Is this gonna be like your first time? Uh-oh. Miss Trop lady, this your first time? Don't be trying to leave us, girl.
I was trying to see if I could see the chat. I'm gonna have to go get my other phone.
You know what? It's easy for me because I'm on my laptop.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the chat. When you on your phone, you got to click out of here, then go click somewhere else to see the chat. Yep, first cruise.
Okay.
Look, and I pulled it too. I just pulled the A. Yep, first cruise.
One thing that I will say for you, and I feel this is your concern, you've been seeing a lot of things in the media of what can go wrong. But don't look at that as that's going to be your story. Because it's not. You won't go have a ball.
I think it's going to be fine, but something feels hectic about the energy of it. And I think it might be like nerves because it's your first cruise, or you might you might have like a few obstacles, and it might be an obstacle with the flight. So if you got to fly somewhere to get on a cruise, I would advise you to go like a few days earlier, so just to make sure no flights are canceled. But I do have a feeling that if you do come up on any obstacles, it might be on the way back. And it might, the reason why I say it might be with the flight, because of the airplane in the air. And in this card right here, I know you can't see it, it looks like somebody trying to stop the plane from flying. So it might be some delays with your flight if you're flying, or there might be some delays on the way back. Also, if y'all get off the ship to go do stuff, get back in time, because they will leave you.
Yeah, I got 3
Oh,
yeses. So.
the baby will be fine. Okay, you're driving. Okay, if you're driving, there's an obstacle on the way back. It's not a bad obstacle. It's not going to like be anything bad or crazy, but it might be something like, I don't know, y'all might get back late, or y'all might not leave when y'all plan on leaving, or something like that, or your tire might go flat. But it's like a more of a nuance than something like really going wrong. But I do feel like everything's gonna be okay, and you're gonna end up enjoying yourself. But I do feel like maybe a little bit of an obstacle, like a that's the energy I get whenever I know it's gonna be like a blockage. I get like a So no worries. I still, even if y'all driving, I still think y'all should go down a little early. Just a little early. Just a little early. Anyhow, ladies, I want to thank y'all for participating in my reading group to help me with the book.
Jazz said
I
that
really
like
appreciate y'all for
sent me
that.
her first couple of stories. Like, girl, we love you, boo.
Mhm.
You heard me.
I am like so excited for the first book to come out. Yeah,
He
I'm
said it like,
excited
I
though.
ain't read some of them first couple. So I'm just waiting for the book. I just gotta make sure. Well, we already know we gonna get our autograph copy, right, Joy and Jazz? Like, I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
I'm ready for it.
Mhm.
So I can read it with my
And they
boo
so
whenever
nice.
he
Yeah,
Ooh.
Danielle had hit me up right before I got on here with y'all, and she was like, "Whoo!" She said, "Jasmine, you nasty." I said, yeah. They said fifth house. Blame it on the fifth house. Blame it on the
So,
fifth house.
I got a question. Y'all already talked it was in a group chat. So with this the walk-in, Joy, do you want to explain that and your thought process?
Okay. I guess I'll try to explain it. I'm still trying to understand my thing on self, but no. So I saw a post. It's from a creator, I think on TikTok. I think she on Instagram and Facebook too. I think Yaya's Word or something. But she made a post talking about walking spirits. And I found it super interesting. So she was explaining that sometimes what happens is there's souls that may have went through like some type of trauma and things like that. And based off the trauma, there may be another spirit that comes in and walks in. But I'm still trying to understand that, because I think it was like a point in the video she was something about like the soul, it will be like the higher self that walk in. So yeah, it makes total sense. Chat. So what I was telling T and Jazz is I had an ex-boyfriend who he got in a car accident, almost he broke his neck, almost lost his life. We didn't date for some years, but when I saw that, like, he was super private, like super private because of the lifestyle that he lived. after that, it's like he turned the person he is now. I'd be like, what the heck? Like he be beefing and talking. He talked so much when he wasn't he say so much stuff on social media. And I'd be like, what the heck? Like this is definitely not him. Now he is living a good life as far as like being successful, but as far as like the other stuff, I'd be like, what the heck? Oh no. I wouldn't have been dating him. I don't even like those type of people who talk too much. So I'm trying to understand if that's something that happens and if that is a permanent thing, if the souls do when they step out of their body, if it's permanent.
So, a question that I had with that, and um, when you say stepping in, right, is it something that can happen to like any of us, or is it for people who have near death experiences? Like that was my major question. Um, because one thing that I also thought of is when they walk in, is that similar to when people have spiritual attachments? Um, like for an
Mhm.
example, like if you get if you're under the influence, whether it be alcohol or drugs, right? You make yourself more susceptible to spirits. So there have been stories of when people are like under influence or, you know, like a spirit gets attached to them, but it gets attached, somewhere on their body. So is that considered a walk-in or is that an attachment? Is a walk-in permanent? Like you said, permanent like that? Or is it just like, okay, they just walk through? Or is it mainly associated with people who have had near death experiences? Um, that's that was kind of my thought process with it. What you got, Jazz?
So I had read this article. I had to go pull it up again. And it's this person who does like past life regressions and stuff like that. And she
Mm,
did an article, and I'm gonna send y'all the link too.
okay.
Um, she did an article on walk-in, and she said most of the time they happen in infancy. Like a soul may come in and say, "Hey, you know what? I changed my mind." It might
Mm,
realize like, okay, both the parents died tragically. The particular spirit's gonna have a very hard life. You know what? I don't think I want to sign up for this. Usually, she said it's not planned before birth, before they come here. But they might not. They might choose to exit, but they don't want to do it, or they might like make an agreement for another soul to step in.
mm,
Um. So another thing is like, sometimes it might be temporary. Like, let's say the soul is getting ready to go through a very difficult period. And I'm just going by this article. It was written by a lady named Julia North.
mm-hmm,
And they might be getting ready to go through a hard period. So the soul may decide that, hey, you know what? Tag your it, you take this on, but they probably take back
mm-hmm.
over. And a lot of times with things like this, you don't even notice, or you don't notice. Um, but on my previous scenario, a soul is needed here ASAP. I don't know why, baby. Inside voice. Hold on.
Yeah, I know the babies always like to make their presence
Jack,
known. Yeah, I know they always
she
like
be
to
on
make
the
their
phone with
presence.
her girlfriend and she be going. She be going.
Sounding like us when we be on call.
So another place where a soul may see somebody else's and feel like that particular mission, it has a bigger purpose, so they may take over so they can experience that bigger purpose. Um, and sometimes the soul comes just to prep the stage for another one to come, and then another one happens. Period. Is just like a soul. It doesn't want to be in the body. It says it sucks, and it just goes ahead and it swaps out. They got some more. She got one called the timeshare. She said in some rare cases, two or more souls plan before birth to inhabit the same physical vessel at different stages of life. That's another one. The upgrade. It says a higher version or higher aspect of the same soul. And that may be the one where you said somebody might have went through like a spiritual awakening, or like maybe a higher aspect of that soul, because there's different aspects of we're omnipresent, may inhabit you. From what I'm reading, I have to read a lot more because I'm just speaking from this. But there's also a malicious one. She calls it the lock you away walk-in. Now, this is a malicious kind of swap that is forced upon the original soul, or at least isn't in the soul's highest good. Either the person willingly sells their soul for power and fame, and as they accept on agreement of sorts, a dark being takes control of the person and locks away or pushes aside the original soul, or the original soul is forcibly replaced and locked away without any agreement, which is more likely to happen to those in a position of power or influence. Now that's scary. She also named the backseat driver walk in and out and in again. This is when you have demons, but they actually want to drive the vehicle and do so for periods of time while your soul is riding in the back. Then you switch. And she said, by demons, I mean souls, spirits, or entities that are attached to this person, like you mentioned, Tierra. She said, often due to past life trauma or soul contracts. This is not a beneficial arrangement because the attached spirit and the rightful owner of the body don't always agree on choices to make, and the original soul also won't get to experience as much life while it's riding in the back seat. This is not a true walk-in, more like a temporary possession, and this situation can be resolved through removing the attached spirits so that the original soul can regain full control. And that was the last one. Those last two were kind of scary.
So as you were saying that, y'all remember the movie, was it Fallen? The Denzel Washington movie with the
I remember that movie.
Spirit. But is that the same thing as the walk-in, or was that considered the demonic one that you just answered? Because remember, like, you didn't know who had that spirit. It was going to different people in that town. So is that like because
I think in that town it was more forced. Yeah, but I think with these, some way, somehow, you have to give them permission to be there.
Okay.
Some way, somehow, you have to give them permission to inhibit your vessel. That is why I don't particularly care for physical mediumship.
Baby. Yeah, no, I don't like it.
That's why I'm like, when I do mediumship, I know I can do it, but it's just not a good feeling to me sitting aside and watching yourself say words that you know damn well you ain't. It's just not a comfortable feeling. So I'm not a fan with it. I'd rather be in full control of my own vessel, but that is a way. And sometimes, they attach to you. And like they said, it could be past life trauma or it could be soul contracts. So I'm wondering, like, people who have DID, which is dissociative identity disorder or multiple personality disorder, are those really attachments when they have those different personalities? Are those really like different attachments that are attached to them, and they're going in and out whenever they want to? They just have no control over those attachments.
To me, that makes sense because
we
all know.
And let's talk about all these famous people selling their souls. So, like, according to this, they're no longer that person. They're no longer that person.
I mean, if you pay attention, when you look at some of these celebrities, you can tell. I mean, y'all know how.
It's here. You always saying that too. You always say that too, Tierra. Be like, there's something in there. Tierra be right.
And the energy around them just be different, and I ain't gonna do that. But just look at people, and and okay. Go ahead. You already know what I want to say, but I don't know if I want to go ahead now. But all right.
Oh, but check this out. Let's talk about.
Let's talk about what?
I tell you, my internet is janked up. Y'all be freezing up and going in. Can
We
y'all
can
hear
hear
me?
you though. Keep on. What you want to talk about?
Oh, nothing. I was gonna tell y'all about the upgrade walk-in. The she called it the false walk-in. And she says that's when a higher version of yourself or a higher aspect of the same soul to that person walks in. And it says to the person, a new vibration and perspective can definitely feel like a drastic change. That's why some believe they are walk-ins when they are actually just upgraded versions of themselves. She said there's also something called a soul braid. This is when soul energy of another being, often a benevolent higher being, such as an ascended master or archangel, is added to the person's own soul energy in order to assist the person in their mission or give access to some gifts or energetic qualities that he or she needs.
Ooh, ghost. That's what made me think of when you just said that. That last part.
Ghost, the movie Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
She said that the energy, the whole point was to save, I forgot her name, but save old girl from the killer. So he
Mm-hmm.
used Whoopi's character, for that energy. And yeah, now I got questions. Okay.
It made me think about not Blink Twice, Lord. What's that movie? What y'all know the movie? Um, hmm, Get Out. It made me think about Get Out, and then it made me think about Gucci Mane in the little interview.
Okay, because I was like, when I said I didn't want to go there, I wanted to talk about that because right now, how they trying to use this whole schizophrenia, blah blah blah. Even though we can talk about that because I do believe in what Jazz said about the multiple personality disorders and the dissociative identity disorder. Do I feel there are spiritual components to some of those that they classify as having mental illness? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because me working in healthcare and being around people who have been diagnosed with, especially schizophrenia, you have a conversation with them, and oh my God, like their thought process is out of this world. They are talking about things, and if you, granted, now I have a better understanding now because of where I am on my spiritual journey. But if you listen to them, they be saying some real shit. Like they be on it, and it ain't even on no conspiracy theory shit. Like they be really, like they have sound mind. So that's all I was gonna say. But yeah, Joy, get out my head and Jazz, because when you was talking, I definitely was getting ready to say, are we about to talk about the Gucci Mane thing? Because yeah, all right, I'm done. I'm a back man.
Back.
Because exactly what happened. Okay.
So do y'all believe that all mental illnesses have a spiritual component to them?
All
Oh.
See, I'm not gonna go there with all because I don't even know all the mental illnesses. I just know the ones that I've had experiences with. I'll say that. I can't say, I'm not gonna say all because I don't even know all mental illness. I learned in high school that that section of health, the psychiatry industry aspect of healthcare, it was a no for me. I had a bad experience. So, and it was with the patient that was a schizophrenic, diagnosed with schizophrenia. And long story short, we had when you work in an emergency room, they have, rooms that you can close. And this particular day, the patient was standing long story short, the security guard let his guard down. Like he was outside of the room and the patient was talking to him and they having, a regular conversation like how we all talking right now in this podcast. Baby, when I tell you, I'm at the nurse's station and it literally sounded like somebody took a watermelon and slammed it on the floor. That's the noise that I heard. Turned around, blood was gushing from the face of the security guard.
Mm.
He had hit him so hard that security guard had to go into surgery and he actually got plates in his face. And his wife at the time worked at the front desk in registration. She heard it all the way out in the waiting room. That's how loud it was. That was my first experience that let me know, like, yeah, I don't want to do that. But the conversation, it was just like a switch hit. And that was so, but I won't say all, I'll just say the ones that I have experiences with. Excuse me. I do believe, and even with what you just said about the multiple personality, like that will make sense. Like, is it really that, or is it different spirits coming in? Because we also know that based on childhood trauma, people cope and deal with things in different ways. And based on my experience, there's a correlation between those with severe childhood trauma and then being diagnosed with a mental illness. So I'm gonna leave that at that. But I won't say all because I don't know. And we are not doctors over here.
YouTube, we are not doctors. YouTube, we not doctors. We're not giving medical advice.
But do I believe there's a correlation? Absolutely. Absolutely. I absolutely do. Absolutely, I do.
What about you, Joy? What you think? What?
Because you yawn, and I said, oh, it's about that time, and I'm looking at the time. I'm like,
Now, when there's spirit presence, I yarn a lot or burp. I know it's weird, but that's just my body's reaction to it.
Girl, it is not weird. Because right now, I'm get cold, okay?
And I'm freezing. My clothes feel like ice. But Joy, what do you think?
I think certain mental illnesses have a spiritual aspect. Yeah, that's all. Just so as him, I definitely do. I feel like with some of the mental illnesses is diagnosed that route with certain people just based off because they don't know how to really explain what's going on. For example, if I'm going to speak on mediumship, you may have someone who don't necessarily know like what they're experiencing, if it's mediumship or not. Or they talking to the wrong person, maybe like this person is seeing people. They are, isn't it? Nope, you're wrong. So I guess in all of it, I was I feel like some of it is misdiagnosed when it comes to mediumship. And just some of the other mental illnesses. I can speak on personal experience, not with myself, but my aunt. Everybody, my Aunt Pearl passed last year, and growing up, my aunt went through a lot of stuff. She went through some traumatic things with her kids being one of her babies being killed, and then one of her other two kids almost being killed as well at the same time from her boyfriend. In that aspect, everybody just felt like my aunt started going crazy, which she may have, right? But the stuff that she would sit here right now, she might cut your ass out. But she had the most the best information as far as realistic things, and even like when I was speak to her about different things with like my gifts and things, like she really wouldn't know what it was, but she would try to explain. She was like, "Oh, Joyce, no, I understand this and this and this," and I'd be like, "My aunt ain't crazy. I need to stop calling her saying that she like bipolar because she wasn't never diagnosed, but that's what the family would, kind of be like, I'm probably on some other shit, But yeah, I just don't think had the aspect of being able to understand what her gifts were as well.
Plus, people be so quick to judge what they don't understand. So,
Mm.
Mediums. I happened upon this study where they're saying that mediums, they were giving like mediums the same checklist that they used to diagnose people with DID, and there was only one difference, and the difference was a medium's information is accurate, and a person that's diagnosed with DID isn't. They like kind of lose touch with reality, but we're very similar. And that's why I'm like really into like the brain and the brain's neurotransmitters and how they work, and like how does the brain of a psychic or medium work compared to someone who's diagnosed with a mental illness, because it's really not much different. So I feel that everything is spiritual. We're just human beings experiencing this stuff. I feel like everything has somewhat of a spiritual component to it. Even most mental illnesses, because then you hear about people that you know of, especially certain spiritual gurus that you grow up watching, they go into a spiritual psychosis. And at first they made all the sense in the world, and after a while they start losing touch with reality. The question is, what happened? So now the spiritual stuff that they're saying, it don't make sense. You know what I mean? Or now they feel like they're always being attacked, or something's always after them, or they saw something that tried to get them, and they're blaming somebody sitting on the side all innocently trying to throw at them or doing something crazy, and you ain't even thought about the person. It just be, I think it's more connected than we think. That's what I think. But that's something like me. If I find that study, I'm gonna send y'all that study too. Somebody sent a message in the private chat. Oh, she said, "Be right back."
Oh.
Mhm. But there's this book, and I can't think of his name, but it's a book on neurotheology, and it looks at the brain and how the brain functions when you're like in a meditative state, like what parts of your brain highlight and what parts don't. Like and it looks like what our brains do when we're giving readings, because a lot of times, like when, like as I'm talking right now, if they were to look at my brain, like my frontal lobe would be lit, because that's where all you process your thoughts and you speak them and stuff like that. But if I was to give a mediumship reading, this part wouldn't be lit, I think, and I could be wrong. I think according to the book, it'd be like more towards in the hypothalamus. So like our brains operate different when we are like in a reading type of mode. It's very interesting. I got a few books on it. I'll send you a book. I think his name is Dr. Andrew Newberg, maybe, but it's a book on neurotheology.
That's dope.
Mm-hmm. So I know we surpassed our hour time. Did y'all want to read through the zodiac signs real quick, or did y'all what y'all want to do?
Can we do the signs like how we did before?
Like each zodiac sign, or like the group, like the element?
The element.
Okay. What you think, Joyce?
Sorry, I had to laugh. Damn. Sorry. Jazz just threw me all the way up.
Wait, what did I say? Why I throw you off? I'm
Right. What
sorry.
happened?
You know, you didn't throw me off. We can do it. My mama been doing certain things to let me know that she around. So you probably didn't notice you called or just with different music being played. So yeah, if you call me Joyce, which is my mama's name, so you probably
Well,
didn't
that's
even.
because your mom was here. I was gonna talk to you about it when we got off of this. That's why my
Okay.
toes are cold. Okay.
Okay.
And my ears. Mama's here.
Okay.
Okay.
We can talk about it when we get off. I said, okay. But yeah, we can do the whole totality.
All right. I'll do fire.
I'll do water.
I'll do earth.
And then we, y'all realize we always end up splitting air when we do it this way.
Well, I'll do air.
So I'm fire, water, air.
And then we can split earth.
We can split
I'll
earth.
take Taurus.
I'll say Capricorn.
Okay, Virgo.
All right, let's start with fire signs. What message we have for fire signs? What message we have for the fire sign? Look, it is literally a man holding a fire.
That's hilarious.
So fire signs. This is about career, I think. I think you've been really fighting to stay where you are, but what you're doing is actually just fighting to keep your own limitations. But I think you're going to kind of make up your mind and you're going to try to step into something new. Maybe a new career choice. You're going to pick up the strength to step into a new career, and it's going to turn out really good for you. Everything's going to kind of sink into place. It may seem difficult at first because it's something different and something new and something you don't understand, but I think it's going to work out for you. For some of you, I'm getting the number 8. So either August or 8 months from now, you'll be stepping into a new career endeavor. And that's it for fire signs.
All right, water signs. So what I have for you guys, y'all have some internal struggles going on with your finances. But the main thing that I see is you are not trusting yourself with your finances. Okay. There's something that you are focused on. When I say focused on, you have either a financial goal, whether it be like a savings or trying to stick to your budget, and you are second guessing yourself, thinking that you're not on track. You have the money, but it's something that's outside of your comfort zone. Because one of the cards that I'm getting here is believe in the impossible. So it's outside of your comfort. Whatever financial goal you have set, it's something you've never done before, or you've done it and you didn't have the stick to itness or the to go through it. Like you started it and then you stopped and gave up on it because you felt it was too challenging. But just know adjustments are going to be made, i.e. discipline. You're going to have to be very disciplined and stick to your goal that you have, and you're going to trust yourself. That's the main thing I'm getting is you're going to have to trust yourself. But everything that you have your mindset on for this financial goal is coming. You just got to follow through and stick with it. So that's what I have for the water signs.
All right. So air signs. This is going to be general. Air signs. What I have is there are a couple of air signs that's been dealing with some blockages, right? With dealing with some blockages, you're holding on to some things. It can be relationship wise, it can be past traumas and things like that. You're holding on to those things, and it's causing you to have blockages. It's time for you guys to release those blockages. If you need help when it comes to releasing those blockages, maybe I'm gonna say reaching out to some counselors, air signs, um, reaching out to some counselors, reaching out to some of your family that you feel like is a safe place for you to be able to release those things that you've been holding on to, so you can start releasing some of those blockages that's taking place with you guys. Once you release those things, make sure that you are also setting boundaries there. So setting boundaries so you won't be back in the situations where you feel like you've put your trust in someone and they're gonna hurt you again. Set, whether it's with family, whether it's with friends. So you continue to move forward, can continue to move forward in positivity as well as just being more abundant there. But let's work on that self releasing, accepting help, and setting boundaries, y'all.
All right, I'm gonna do Capricorn. Capricorn. I'm sorry, Capricorn. You are in a very successful period right now. This is about mindset. You are in a very successful period right now, but for some reason, somewhere in your mind, you don't think you are. You feel like you don't have the clarity that you need, and you feel kind of like stuck. But the fact of the matter is, you're not really stuck. You're very abundant right now. You're very free. Um, I do need to give me 3.2 seconds to look this up real quick because I always forget. Let me just see what this one means real quick. Forgive me, y'all. Forgive me. Forgive me. Yeah, so I feel like right now everything has turned in your favor. Everything is looking good. It don't feel good, but it's looking good. And I think what happened is that um you probably feel this way because you've somehow thrown yourself off balance. And prime example, I want to show you, like, here goes this man. He's on this elephant, he's going through the woods, and he's got this thing, and he's just giving his food away, just throwing his food out. You know what I'm saying? Just giving his food away. But he's not really paying attention to how full or empty his bowl is. So after a while, it's going to make him feel like he's down on his luck because he's giving away all his resources. When in reality, he's truly abundant because behind the elephant that he's riding is a whole nother basket of fruit that he's not paying attention to. So, Cappy, get out your head. You are in a much better space than you think you are.
I received that, and that goes to what we talked about before we started recording. So, Tauruses, this is love for you guys. But the biggest thing is you've been trying to bring love into a situation, but you are sacrificing yourself. In other words, if you stay with this person, you are going to be miserable. So the biggest thing I got is time to let go um, and focus on you. The biggest thing that I say, it says look at the bigger picture. You have to see beyond the relationship and focus on you and see what it is that you truly want. Because when it comes down to it, with this relationship or situationship that you're dealing with right now, you're not fulfilled, and it's time for you to make changes. So, yeah, that's what I got for the Tauruses.
All right. So Virgos, with our Virgos here, I have a couple Virgos that's thinking about making different moves. You've been thinking about making different moves, but you're letting some fears hold you back. You're not sure if it's the right direction you need to go into. You're not sure if you should be staying right where you currently are or not. You just like, I want to move in this direction, but I'm scared. Virgos, make sure that you're releasing some of those fears here. Once you release those fears, work on having faith that things are going to work out. If you want to go ahead and go for that job, go for that job. You don't have to stay in the same place or a stagnant place because that's comfortable for you. And I feel like that's what's happening. It's comfortable for you, but you feel like you can be successful elsewhere, right? Let go of those fears. It's gonna be successful. Just have faith that it's gonna work out. Don't second guess yourself. Once you let all that stuff go of those fears, it's gonna work out for you. Just step out on faith, y'all. Step out on faith.
Okay, I would like to thank everybody for tuning in. That concludes our show. Until next week.
Thank y'all for coming out. Peace.
Bye. Thank y'all.